Hello, wonderful beings. Welcome to the 68th episode of Wheel of Wisdom. Hi, Lisa. So nice to see you here. The first one here. And I see some more familiar faces. Hi, Caitlin. Welcome. Caitlin says greetings. Hello, Caitlin. Thank you for tuning in. And I think I'm seeing some new faces. I would love to say hi and know which part of the world you are joining us from. Lisa says, always nice to be here. Oh, I love having you, Lisa. Thank you so much for your kind presence and your lovely comments. I always appreciate that. So, is there anyone who is in this space who is joining us for the very first time? Because in case there is someone new, then I would like share what we do in these lives. Otherwise, we can just go with the flow. And to the ones who are coming back, welcome back. I so appreciate, seeing you getting some value out of these and choosing to spend your time with me. It means a lot. Lisa says, I love listening to your soothing voice and very kind words. Thank you, Lisa. I'm happy to hear that. um, and yeah, for my voice, I think credit goes to my parents. Claudia says, Hey Anisha and all. Hi Claudia, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Is this your first time? Are you joining us for the very first time? Okay, you have been here before. Then, yeah, apologies for not recognizing your name, but now I will. Okay, you haven't been recently. Okay, then I hope that you get something out of this live. Ah, okay, guys, so since I see a lot many familiar faces here, so we are going to begin with the live and the practice. What we do, how we start these lives is with a meditation to open ourselves, to ground ourselves, and to raise our vibrations so that we are in alignment to that higher wisdom, that we are going to receive later on in this life. So, are you guys ready for the meditation? Type ready if you are, and then we will begin. Lisa says ready. Caitlin says ready, friend. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it, friend. Okay, Claudia says ready. Beautiful. Okay. So begin by coming into a comfortable position. Usually, this practice is done lying down, but if you can't do so right now, feel free to continue in any other posture, whether sitting or standing. As you settle into this posture, allow your hands to rest by the sides of your body or anywhere else that you feel comfortable in. And now allow your eyes to either close completely all the way down, and if you don't feel safe closing your eyes, you can always soften your gaze. Let your body be supported by the surface beneath you. So let your body be held by the surface beneath you. And now I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose and a slow breath out through your mouth. Ah. In out, and one more. Arriving in this moment. This is simply a time to come home to your body as it is. So let's begin by bringing your awareness to the top of your head, the crown, noticing any sensation or absence of sensation in the crown of your body. There is no right or wrong way to feel. Now, gently bring your awareness to your forehead. Now, to the space between the eyebrows, your temples, simply noticing. Shifting your attention to your eyes, feeling into the space they occupy in the sockets. Bringing awareness to your eyelids, your eyelashes, just being aware. Now bring your attention to your cheeks, your nose, and your lips. Noticing any sensations. And now notice your jaw, your chin, moving your awareness down to your neck and your throat. Letting your awareness rest here gently. Now move your attention to your shoulders. Noticing the weight they carry. The contact with fabric or air. Now bringing your awareness to your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, now gently rest your attention on your hands. Feel into your palms, your fingers, your fingertips. Let your awareness now move into your upper back, shoulder blades, and your spine. Simply aware of how your whole back feels in this moment. Now shift to the forefront of your body. Noticing your chest, the rhythm of your breath, your ribs expanding and releasing. Now shift your awareness to your belly, witnessing the natural movement of breath in this part. Now move your attention to your hips, the pelvis, noticing the sensations of warmth or heaviness in this part. Bring your focus now to your thighs, your knees, and down into the calves. Feel your ankles, your heels resting against the floor or bed. Bringing awareness to your feet, the top of them, and the soles of your feet. And finally, to all the 10 toes. Simply noticing. Now, gently expand your awareness to include your whole body, from head to toe, aware of the body as a whole, breathing, sensing, and existing. Just be with your body. Now take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Bringing small movement back to your body by wiggling your toes and your fingers, And whenever you feel ready, opening your eyes, connecting back with the environment around you. Welcome back. If you feel called to share your experience of the meditation, you can do so in the comments. And if not, you can always press the heart somewhere here to let me know that you resonated with the practice. And I see that some new people have joined us while we were meditating. So, welcome to all of you. I appreciate your presence. And I want to let you know that in case you missed the meditation and would like to check it out, you can do so by accessing the replays through the link tree in my profile, in the About section of my profile. Yeah, and this meditation was just one part of this, live. There is a lot more left, which is like the fun part, and also, where we spin the wheel and gain some wisdom. So, yeah, a lot of fun and wisdom together. So, stay tuned until, yeah, I just take a sip of water. And thank you so much for all the hearts. I do see you guys, and thank you so much for letting me know that you like the practice. Thank you. And if you resonated with the meditation and would like to check out more of my content, you can do so by going to my profile because I have 41 around 41 free tracks and I think around 10 premium tracks. So yeah, in case you're interested, you can check that out at your own time. Okay, so now it's time for some fun and some wisdom, both of them together. So let me show you guys the wheel. So this is our wheel of wisdom. Okay, let me, just a second. I thought it, no, I think, yeah, I thought it would be better that way. Okay, yeah. So this is our wheel of wisdom. And in a moment, we are going to spin this wheel and, to give ourselves, we are going to give ourselves a chance to listen, to really hear the messages that the universe, divine consciousness, source, spirit, angels, whoever you believe in, is trying to communicate with all of us because they are always, and right now is just for us, yeah, a space for us to be more receptive and to be able to catch on to those messages or to open ourselves to receive those messages. So before we spin the wheel and tap into the wisdom, I invite you guys to take a moment to bring to the forefront of your mind any specific issue or area of your life in which you would like some wisdom, guidance, direction, clarity, whatever it is. And if there is nothing specific, then you can, simply set a general intention that may I receive some guidance for today. So take your time, and when you are done, press the hearts to let me know, the heart icon somewhere here to let me know that you are done. And then we will begin and spin the wheel. Let's see what wants to come through. Um, yeah, so take your time. And I want to let you know that, so what So, for anyone who is joining us for the very first time, we have like the name of 31 books here. Just, I thought, yeah, 31 days of the, month. So let's take 31 books. So yeah, I have selected 31 books out of the many books that I've read in the past 8 years in my own journey of transformation. And yeah, and once you guys let me know that you have thought of something, um, you know, on which you would like to receive some guidance, then we will spin the wheel, and then the universe or God or source is going to select a book for us to receive some wisdom from, to receive the messages from. So, have you guys thought of something, on which you would like to receive some guidance? Press the heart to let me know. Okay, you have. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So let's see, holding whatever it is in your mind as we spin this wheel. Okay, so the book that came for all of us is Self Compassion, the proven power of being kind to yourself. And the book has been written by Christine Neff, who is the pioneer in, self compassion research that have, a lot of research have been done in the past decade. And she was the one, who started all of this. So let's see what wants to come through from this beautiful book. So give me a second to choose, like the page numbers, because I am going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers in a moment. So just a second. Mm, okay. So in a moment from now, I'm going to ask you to choose a number, okay? And I don't want you guys to rush at all. So, if anyone is joining for the first time, there is no need to rush because I'm not going to choose the top numbers. I'm going to go through the numbers that you guys share and then choose a number out of them that I feel called to. Okay. So, yeah, so I invite you guys to choose a number between 28 to 192. Here you go. Take your time, tune into your intuition, and see which number wants to come through. Again, anyone who is joining us right now, I have sent an invitation to all of you to choose a number between 28 to 192. And we are going to do a reading, based on that from the book, The Self Compassion. And this book has been written by Christine Neff. Okay, Lisa has chosen a number for all of us. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Chris, and welcome. Hi, B. Thank you for choosing the number. A lot of double digits kind of numbers. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Lauren. Okay, it seems like, yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go through these numbers and choose a number. And from that page number of the book, I'm going to do a reading from. So as I was reading all of these books, I made notes, kind of notes from some of these books where, of anything that I found insightful or, any transformational practices from these books. So, whatever page number I choose, I'm going to go to that page number and read the highlighted text for us. And also, whoever number I choose is, it doesn't mean that that reading is just for that person, it is for all of us. They are just a source, another source of wisdom. And yeah, and it's for all of us because you are here. So you are meant to hear that message. Thank you, Urvesh. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go with 144. And the number has been chosen by Lisa for all of us. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I was just getting two numbers, a really strong, connection to two numbers. So it was hard to choose. But yeah, we are going with Lisa's number, which is 144. Let's see what wants to come through. Okay, I think this one is going to be very helpful for a lot of people. So, the author says, so why is self compassion a more effective motivator than self criticism? Because its driving force is love, not fear. Love allows us to feel confident and secure, in part by pumping up our oxytocin, which okay, let me drink some water. I'm stuttering. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. So, love allows us to feel confident and secure, in part by pumping up our oxytocin, while fear makes us feel insecure and jittery, sending our amygdala into overdrive and flooding our system with cortisol. When we trust ourselves to be understanding and compassionate when we fail, we won't cause ourselves unnecessary stress and anxiety. We can relax knowing that we will be accepted regardless of how well or how poorly we do. But if that's true, why should we try working hard at all? If we are going to be accepted, rather, no matter if we fail, if we do well, or if we do poorly, then the question is that why work hard at all? if you're going to accept it, if we are going to be accepted anyways, right? Why not just kick up our feet eating pizza and watching TV reruns all day? Many people assume that self compassion is just a feel good, warm fuzzy, a way to coddle ourselves and nothing more. But healing and growth are not served by such superficial treatment. Unlike self criticism, which asks if you are good enough. So, what self criticism asks us is that, are you good enough? You know, self compassion asks, what's good for you? So, self criticism asks if we are good enough, whereas self compassion asks, what is good for us? What is good for you? Self compassion taps into your inner desire to be healthy and happy. So, if you care about yourself, you will do what you need to do in order to learn and grow. So, that is the answer to the question that if I would be accepted, if I practice unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, then most people think that if I accept myself just as I am, then why would I change? Why would I put in efforts? Why would I work hard? So the answer to that question is that because you care about yourself, because you want to do things that are good for you, you want to learn, you want to grow, and that is the desire we are tapping into, not the fear that the self criticism relies on. So So, if you care about yourself, you will do what you need to do in order to learn and grow. You will want to change unhelpful patterns of behaviors, even if that means giving up certain things you like for a while. Caring parents don't constantly feed their children candy just because their kids love candy. Indulging your child's every whim is not a sign of good parenting. Being nurturing towards those we care about means sometimes saying no. So, you know, the author gives us the example of parents, when we are like, okay, if I'm being self compassionate, then I'm going to just, indulge in the things that, gives us pleasure, the short term pleasure kind of things. So I'm going to eat all the unhealthy stuff and lie on my couch and not exercise and all of the things, right? And that's not self compassion is, because a compassionate parent, a nice, a good parent, do not agree to every single thing a child demands. And there is, and we need to treat ourselves in that way that we are not putting any conditions of for loving them. So it's not that if you only do this, or if you don't do this, then only I will love you. So there is this unconditional love and acceptance just as they are, but we are not agreeing to every single demand of them. And you can you might be able to relate to that manner, that there is kind of a child within us that lives, that make these demands to get the pleasurable things. So we need to know that if this particular thing that is causing me short term pleasure is but is not going to be healthy for me in some manner, then self compassion involves saying no. And you are saying no because you care about yourself, you know and you are continuing all the healthy things because you care, not because you fear what your self critic would start saying about you and you would feel low and everything. So we are not tapping into fear, we are tapping into love. And that's the shift that self compassion can bring. So, yeah, there goes our myth that if we are self compassionate, we would allow ourselves to indulge in unhealthy things. So if you relate to this one, let me know by tapping, the heart or sharing your view in the comment. So I can see that if this was relatable to you in some manner, or if you hold this, if you held this belief for a while that, or up until now, that self compassion is just, warm, fuzzy stuff, and it would allow us to, do the stuff that is not very healthy for us. And I want, okay, so now that this one reading is done, would you like me to continue from the same book or should we go for a different book? Urvish says, how to possible love without condition? Please put light on my dark question. Okay. Hmm. There's a quote coming up for me. Give me a second. I think I need to search that quote. Give me a second. Because I think, yeah, I don't need to say a lot. That simple quote can answer your question. Hmm. The quote was by Carl Jung. Give me a second. I'm just not remembering the whole quote. Yeah. So the quote goes like this. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. So, when you accept, meaning firstly, you need to be aware, the first step is always awareness. First, you need to be aware that this is the patterns of mine that, do not harm me. So, first, bringing that awareness to all the different parts, to your strengths, to your weakness, to the things that you like about yourself, to the things that you don't like about yourself. And when you find yourself engaging in those things, so once you become aware, you acknowledge the acceptance, a simple line can sum up acceptance, which is that this is what it is. This simple line is the crux of acceptance. And when we are looking at this thing that we don't like, then we there is this resistance comes up that this is in me but I don't want that. So this thing comes up and you're like, no, I don't want that. This thing comes up again and you're like, no, I don't want that. So there's a lot of effort going in, there's a lot of energy going in, if your energy is getting wasted, and by suppressing it you are increasing your suffering, you know so awareness, then acceptance that, this is what it is. This is a part of me. You know, um, a part of me, yeah, feels like a part of me is more of, do things that a lazy person do. So yeah, so this is what it is. So awareness, acceptance, you know, and then to tap into the love part, a very effective one is curiosity. Your your hatred would get transformed into gratitude. And I'm getting goosebumps because I have seen this happen for my clients when I take them through this whole process, when I help them connect with that part. Is that when you become curious of the part of you that you don't like, and when you start asking questions, you will realize how much this part of you has been doing for you. And once you realize that, once you develop better relationship with that part of you that you don't like, then you can also ask, w- what are all the functions and why has it been, behaving in that manner, and then we can, then we can find some other ways to do that that are, aligned with your values, that are aligned with the person that you want to become. So this is kind of a whole process. I cannot, just answer that, but yeah, this is the crux of what I do with my clients, who would like to tap into this particular thing. I hope that, you were able to gain something out of that response or wish. And Lisa says, same book. Thank you for the boat. Okay. Other people, I think some new people have joined as well. Would you guys like to go through the same book, which is The Self Compassion by Christine Neff? Or would you guys like to, try a different book, spin the wheel again and choose a different book? So, yeah, if anyone wants to vote, you can. Otherwise, we are going with the same book as Lisa suggested. Okay, we say same book. I can see that you guys are loving this book. And in fact, as especially when I was reading like self-compassion books, I actually created like a whole kind of a guide, to take us through all the myths and compassion, of self compassion that hold people from being more compassionate and, yeah, and stay stuck with that inner critic and everything like that. Um, yeah, I was just wondering how to, how should I should I share that information here in the lives and how, because yeah, there is a lot of information, so I would probably just have to read that whole document like one thing at a time. So would you be interested in, like, in maybe a set of live, in maybe a series of live where I am just reading those notes and we are reflecting and pausing and, just going through the whole thing to incorporate self compassion in our lives? So let me know if you guys would be interested in that. And yeah, I would plan that, series of self-compassion. Okay, V says absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I just want to know if there is some interest, and then only I would do that. And Beck says, what book is this? Sorry, I just got here. Hi, Beck. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And the name of the book that we are reading is Self Compassion, and the author is Christine Neff. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go through the numbers again, the numbers that you guys mentioned. And if anyone is joining us right now, I invite you guys to choose a number between 28 to um, to 192. Okay, so choose a number between 28 to 192. And again, it does, I'm not going to choose like the top one or two. I'm going to consider all your numbers as well because I just go by my intuition and choose a number randomly out of all the numbers that you guys mentioned. So don't worry about that. Thank you, Beck. Thank you, Paris. And welcome, Paris. Okay, so I'm going to go through the numbers. And until then, if anyone, feel called to support me, um, then you can do so by making a donation. If you're getting anything of value out of these lives. Okay, let me go through the numbers until then. Okay, so the number that I'm feeling called to is 72. And the number has been chosen by Paris for all of us. Thank you, Paris. And again, whoever number I chooses, it doesn't mean that that reading is just for them, even though it just, sometimes happen that it resonates with them more. But it is for all of us because you all are here. So you are meant to hear that. Okay. So let's see what is on page number 72. Okay. It is kind of, I think, like a story or something, like an anecdote, I think. Hmm. Okay. So then the title of this is My Story. What's Normal Anyway? So the author says the practice of self compassion and especially of of sh- remembering our shared humanity helped me deal with the greatest challenge in my life so far. A couple of years after getting a job at the University of Texas at Austin, I gave birth to a beautiful little boy named Rowan. At at 18 months, we knew there was something wrong with him. He wasn't pointing, something most babies do by their first birthday. He didn't turn his head when we called his name. He didn't call me mama, didn't call me anything at all. He only had about 5 words, all starting with the letter B, and a few names, mostly of Thomas the Tank Engine Train. He would spend hours obsessively lining up his toy animals. He would tantrum violently at the drop of a hat. I would know parenthood would be hard. Sorry, I had known that parenthood would be hard, but not this hard. Why couldn't I stop his disruptive behaviors? Was it because I was a bad mother? Was I not being firm enough? I did wonder where Rowan might have some sort of developmental disorder. Could it be hearing problems, speech delay, central auditory processing disorder? I took him to all sorts of specialists, ordered any book I thought might help, did anything and everything except seriously investigate if Rowan was showing signs of autism. Looking back, I must have unconsciously suspected he was autistic, but my conscious mind wouldn't allow me to admit it. Whatever's wrong with Rowan, I thought, there is no way that this adorable, charming, funny child could be autistic. After all, he was so loving and affectionate, and he made direct eye contact. Autistic children aren't supposed to do that, are they? I remember once after Rowan gave me one of his beautiful, heartwarming smiles. I even half jokingly said to my husband, Rupert, at least we know he's not autistic. Then one day, as I was packing for a silent meditation retreat that was to start later that afternoon, I couldn't ignore the nagging worry any longer. I took a few deep breaths. Hi, Nadine. We are reading from the book The Self Compassion by Christine Neff. And welcome. Happy to have you here. Yeah, coming back to the story. I couldn't ignore the nagging worry any longer. I took a few deep breaths, turned towards the computer, and typed in the words autism early signs of. The web page said that if your child showed at least 3 out of a list of 10 signs, he or she had a good chance of being autistic and should be taken in for professional evaluation as soon as possible. Rowan had 9 out of 10. Lack of eye contact was the only sign he didn't have. At the moment, I knew Rowan was autistic. I called Rupert and told him. He was stunned as I was. I will cancel my retreat, I said. No, you should go, he said. You need it, and I will need you to be strong and centered so you can help me when you get back. I cried during the entire 2 hour drive to the retreat center. And for the next 4 days, I quite literally sat with the pain of knowing my son was autistic. How can this be happening? Is Rowan slipping away from us? How are we going to cope? I allowed myself to fully feel my fear and grief. I gave myself as much loving kindness and compassion as I could. If a guilty thought would creep in, like, how can I be grieving for Rowan when I love him so much? I wouldn't allow myself to run away with self judgment. My feelings of grief were only natural, something all parents in such situations go through. So note that when the author, start to feel guilty about grieving, maybe, kind of the loss of the child that she thought she would have, the relationship with the child that she thought she would have. She acknowledged that guilty thought and then allowed herself to feel that way. So we are going through a whole process, a kind of example from the author's life as to how she applied acceptance and self-compassion and everything. So going back to the story, when I got back from the retreat, Rupert and I had to deal with the fact that this was now our life. All our dreams of having the perfect son, we assumed that he would go to get a PhD like me, of course, or maybe become a successful writer like his father, flew right out of the window. We had an autistic child. I freely admit that at times the experience pushed me into self pity. When at the park with Rowan, for instance, watching other moms with their normal kids, I would start to feel very sorry for myself. Why can't I have a normal child? Why can't Rowan even respond when another child asks him his name? Why are the other childs why are the other kids making faces at how weird he's being? I would start to feel isolated, alone, cut off from the world. from the world of normal families. I found myself internally screaming, having children is not supposed to be this way. This is not the plan I signed up for. Why me? But luckily, self compassion saved me from going too far down this path. While watching the other kids playing on the swings or swooshing down the slide, I would remind myself that most families had difficulties raising their kids. Maybe the challenge wasn't autism, but it could be any number of other issues: depression, eating disorders, drug addiction, being bullied at school, serious illness, etc. I would look at the other families at the park and remember that they surely had their woes and sorrows too. If not now, then sometime in the future. Instead of feeling poor me, I would try to open my heart to all parents everywhere who were trying to do their best in challenging circumstances. What about the millions of parents in developing countries whose children didn't even have enough to eat? I certainly wasn't the only one having a hard time. Two things would happen as a result of this kind of thinking. First, I would begin to feel deeply in touch with the unpredictability of being human. My heart would swell up with tenderness for all the challenges and sorrows involved in being a parent, but also for all the joy, love, and wonder that the children bring us. Second, my situation was put into much clearer perspective. Rather than falling into the trap of believing that other parents were having an easier time than I was, I remembered that it could be worse, much worse. In the overall scheme of things, autism wasn't so bad. And there were things we could do to help Rowan tremendously. The real gift of self compassion, in fact, was that it gave me the equanimity needed to take actions that did ultimately help him. Perhaps more important, focusing on common humanity helped me to love Rowan for who he was. Once I remembered that having problems and challenges was normal, I could more easily get over the disappointment of not having a normal child. And what is normal anyway? Maybe Rowan had difficulty expressing himself with language or engaging in appropriate social interactions, but he was a loving, happy kid. Being human is not about being any one particular way. It is about being a- it is about being as life creates you, with your own particular strengths and weaknesses, gifts and challenges, quirks and oddities. By accepting and embracing the human condition, I could better accept and embrace Rowan and also my role as the mother of an autistic child. So, did you guys resonated with the story, and not just as a parent, but also on so many levels, when we chase after the so-called normal, when we don't accept others or ourselves, you know, then we can use self-compassion. And I can see, certain elements of it that were highlighted here in this particular paragraph, through this particular instance from the author's life. So the first thing that was noticed was, bringing a sense of common humanity. And that's it, when we feel that, yeah, others' lives are so happy and everything, and which we do, especially when we are suffering, if I recall my own instance, my own period of life when I was feeling like very low, I literally believed these two things that, that other people have it all figured out, that they are so happy. And also I believe that they are normal and I'm not because I have anxiety. And yeah, a very high level of that, So I believe that. And this causes separation from us and from them. And we feel like we don't belong. We don't belong in this humanity for some reason, and that even increases our suffering, you know. And the other thing that was highlighted here that was how she brought, acceptance not only to the circumstances, which was a process, of course, it is not going to happen like that. But, once you start practicing, it would happen eventually with initially the small things and then the big ones also that, bringing acceptance to the situation just as it is. Because when we free our energy from resisting, from putting all our energy in resisting what already is, when we get that free energy, we can put it into something that we can focus on. I think I actually have a whole course on this, if anyone is interested, you guys can check out this particular course, as to how we can accept things and yeah, and what, everything is packed in this course. So, yeah, so the first thing was acceptance of the situation and also of what was happening inside the author, every single thing, the guilt, the emotion, the thought, every single thing, just letting it be there, but not take control, but allowing them to unfold, one after another, one after another. And then connecting to the common humanity that there are other people like me, other parents like her, in her case, that are going through a similar thing. There are many other parents who have an autistic child, and the challenges increases. And also there are, other parents, not even if they are struggling with just, this particular thing, but with any other thing, like any other disorder, any other, illness, disease, or even the disease of poverty. So when we open our heart to all of that, instead of closing down, which we do when we are suffering because we don't want to feel that pain, when we open up, we not only, feel connected with them, we also open our heart to the joy and everything. When we can, connect with the sorrows of everyone, we can celebrate the joys of humanity. I see, a text, and I also think, and it's beautiful how, I think someone asked, yeah, Urvish asked me a question, and I think this was a wonderful, beautiful story to answer that question exactly in a very practical way. So let's see. I have, uh, a beautiful comment. So let me go through that. Where it is, yeah, Beck. Beck says, I can identify with the feelings of being isolated and different from others, especially when I got divorced at 27, or any number of other things. I envied people who had successful marriages, thankfully, through the time. Thankfully, through time, I have let go of the envy and appreciated the lessons I have learned along the way. Thank you so much for sharing that, Beck. And see, when we let go of that, when Beck let go of holding on to all those unpleasant emotions, not just pushing them away, but making space for them, then and shifting, then we get our energy freed up, so we can shift our energy, we can shift our attention to something that can make us feel the way we want to feel, help us deal with the situation in a better manner, have the energy to take the right steps in a particular situation to make it better, however it can be. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that as well. So, she continues, knowing fully now that I am not alone in my suffering. Suffering has not attached itself to me only. Loved this reading. Thank you so much, Beck, for sharing, instances from your own life. And I can see you are much stronger and wiser person now. And I hope that your life is, continues to be filled with those magical moments and you continue to savor those beautiful moments of life. And yes, suffering is not attached to you. You can let go of it, and you're not the only one. You are not the only one, and you belong, and we all are different. So you don't need to change yourself to fit in, just to fit in. You can if you want to and grow, but not out of a pressure to fit in to belong. And hi, Bella. It's so nice to see you here. I hope that, even though you joined towards the end, but you got something out of this live. Since you tuned in, I'm hoping that, yeah, whatever you were able to hear in these last moments, you received something of value from that. And anyone else, who liked this live, who received some value from this live, I would really appreciate, your support. And you can support me by making a donation of any amount that you feel called to. There is no pressure, and every single, you know, energy of love and abundance is appreciated because it allows me to continue doing this. And Bella says, yes, and as usual, I am going to read about the live later in Wonderful Beings. So, what Bella is talking about is I have a little community, a group of my own on Insight Timer, and the name of that group is Wonderful Beings because you are wonderful beings full of wonder. And after each live, I post a summary of that live, including the type of meditation, the name of the book that we read, and also the readings itself. So you guys don't miss out on anything. Yeah, and some people also like reading and not just listening. So yeah, you can check that group out. I would absolutely love to have you there. And if and also I update things there, like if a new track is getting released, or if my life has to be cancelled for some reason, which rarely happens, but it does. So I update everything in that group. So you're welcome to join that group. Bella says that's been a huge help for when I cannot catch the lives. Thank you, Bella, and thank you for recommending it to others, and letting them know the purpose of it. And I do have a few announcements to make, especially if anyone is joining us for the very first time. So, first thing is that this whole live is getting recorded. So, if you missed the meditation or would like to just go through the reading again or miss the reading or something, or if you would like to catch on to the previous, live sessions, you can always check out the replays. Let me show you from where you can access it. So, yeah, you can go to my profile, go to the About section, and scroll all the way down, and you will see a link tree there. So, click on the link tree. When you click on it, you will see Wheel of Wisdom replays, and there is like, a whole playlist of all the replays present there. So, you can always, catch on to the replays and yeah, have fun, tune into your own intuition and just choose a number randomly and just watch that video. Although it takes like 1 hour for this whole video to get uploaded on my channel. So you can always, if you want immediate access, you can again join the group Wonderful Beings. And I do post the summary in like 5 or 10 minutes of the live ending. And another announcement is I have recently started offering women a gift. So the women who attend my live get a complimentary session with me. So if you are a woman who is interested in a free 1 hour coaching session with me, you are welcome to message me on Insight Timer. So the way to message me is you can again go to my profile. If you're already following me, you would see that the follow button becomes the donate button here, and three dots appear above it. Click on the three dots, go to message teacher, and you can message me that Anisha, I'm interested in that or something like that. And yeah, I would absolutely love to guide you, to I would be honored to be a part of your journey. So yeah, if you would like to experience coaching with me, you're welcome to message me. Um, yeah, I think that's it. So, again, if you love this live, if you enjoyed it, if you would like me to continue doing these lives, then you can support me by making a donation of whatever amount that you feel called to. And if you would like to get notified about my next live or about the new tracks, because after each in each live we have done at least one meditation, and we have recorded like 77 meditations up until now, and I'm now publishing them as a free track so that it becomes available for every single one of you. So yeah, you can follow me to get notified about them. I have actually created like a playlist to access all of them. So when you go to my profile and scroll all the way down, this is my latest meditation, which is balance your solar plexus chakra using the seed sound drum. Okay. So yeah, I have created like whole playlist. So here it is, Wheel of Wisdom meditations. So we have like I think 21 meditations in it so far. And I have like other playlists as well. I try to organize all of my content in playlists so you guys can easily access them. So this is like a mindfulness meditation challenge, a 15-day one. And these are self-soothing techniques, that therapists recommend their clients to, to regulate, to center, and to calm down so that they can then process their feelings and everything. And yeah, and here are like all my premium tracks in one place. So I have tried to organize everything for you guys so it is easy for you. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Let me put my next live here. So because I would love to see each and every one of you in that live. Yeah, you can like RSVP here. So it is at the same time tomorrow. Thank you so much for all the love that you're sending me. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So that's it for this live. Thank you so much for your presence, for all the hearts that you send my way, for all the lovely interaction. And I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. Bella says, have a great rest of your day, Anisha. See you all later. You too, Bella. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. Take care.